Hi.
Hi.
Okay, tell us who you are, what you do in the world. Just give us like a little lay of the land.
Yeah, so my name is Nova and I'm a filmmaker, a film director, producer, writer, and I'm also a coach to creatives and storytellers and bridge builders and people channeling creative genius towards the collective good and collective expansion.
Yes. And like 50 other things, as you may find
Yes.
out.
and also a healer.
And has a healing collective and also. But like just, yeah. I mean, psychic. Didn't we talk about doing like psychic readings at one?
Yeah.
Okay, so Nova does it all. You will learn. This is part of why you're in the mastermind.
Yeah.
The focus and to build the coaching business, really.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, tell us, like, you've been in the mastermind over 2 years.
It was right before the pandemic was declared.
At first, so yeah.
It was like January 2020.
So crazy. Okay, yeah. Tell us like where your business was, and maybe like if you want to focus on the coaching and little bits of the other pieces.
Yeah, where was my business then? Yeah, I was at a place, I guess like 2 years prior, around there, had stopped doing like basically freelance work and different part-time work, and I had committed to working on the Wild Darlings film. Like I was like, I'm going to create this healing arts collective for Black queer women and non-binary folks and make a film about the whole process. And so I just was like full force making this film, and then got to this place of like, I have these incredible skills as a facilitator and coach and guide, and just felt really strongly called to put those skills into a business and a real practice. So yeah, me joining the mastermind was really putting that commitment into action and following that. And yeah, it felt so right and aligned, and also definitely terrifying because like it was just a new, just so new. So yeah, and like,
oh my God, business, having to also fit it in around all the other things you're doing.
Yeah,
cool.
And somehow, like, there's definitely been challenges where I really feel like how all of the responsibilities and just all the work that I'm doing, and like I do make it work. Like I have these 2 big leadership roles, and I think because there's so much alignment, like I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing on a soul level. So like otherwise it'd be crazy, but like somehow like, you know, by the of spirit and the universe, like it really does work. And it requires, like, I would say, being like flexible and agile.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, I'm sometimes amazed that
that it works. A moment of like, holy shit, all Nova does in the world. Yeah, tell us, like, okay, so from very baby business, like what have you created in the coaching side of things?
Yeah, so I started out working with folks one-on-one. And so I've worked with a number of people one-on-one. Let's see. I think I've worked with 4 people longer term one-on-one. And then I'm leading my first group program right now.
She did her first launch of a group program. Have
Isn't
you
it?
did it?
It's so wild to me that like, of course, that's what I was like moving towards. It's so obvious, right? But like, I had to come to maybe, yeah, being ready for it maybe, or like, and not even necessarily, I mean, I did feel very, very ready to do that. And yeah, I don't know, like the past 2 years, I really just got to get into like a groove in like just soaking up everything that I've learned from you, to the point where like I'm like, okay, I can do this launch. And even though like it was my first big launch, really, and when I mean, like what's big is relative, but like big for me.
Yeah, that's the whole point, is like just being able to show that like it's big for someone who didn't have a business, who's also running all of these other huge projects, to still be able to figure out how every little step adds up. And then all of a sudden you have your first launch and you have paying clients in this program that you've been dreaming of forever.
Yeah.
The other things I want to know, and like you can say what you want to say, but I think just being able to say like your chart, like kind of the scope of what you do with people, and being able to charge premium rates to creatives, and just how you got behind that mindset wise, and just like given all of the identities you hold and the hats you're wearing all the time, like can you say a little on like getting behind charging premium coaching rates for yourself and the amazing work you do?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that I really think it was a matter of like deciding that that's what I'm going to do. And, you know, even in trying to like form the thought.
As I put you on the spot.
Well, like, and maybe this will come out in a way that makes sense and maybe not. So we'll just see. But, you know, when I'm looking to work with someone, as someone that's coaching me, or doing body work, or whatever it is, like I want to work with the people that are the best at what they're doing. And I really hold myself to that, like on a soul level of like, okay, this person, like mind, body, spirit, like all of their wisdom and spiritual power, like showing up to with their gifts. And I so love receiving from you the way that you show up, and embody that. And when I think of how I'm showing up for my clients, like there is a depth of skill and spiritual work. And even for me, like, and it's about like embodying the work, right?
Yeah.
And like truly fully embodying the work. And I think because I know that I do that, and I hold myself to that, when it's easy and fun, and also when it's really hard, like I show up to do the work. It's the really deep work, and that bears the fruit of transformation. Like I see the results. So
yeah. Like walking the talk.
Yeah, exactly. So like, and that, you know, like thinking to the mindset piece, like that, that power is, it's medicine, it's fuel. Like even in a training I was in, someone nicknamed me a a human crystal. They were like, you're like a human crystal. So I've been like signing my emails and posts now.
So good. It's true.
It's so true, right? And it's like, yeah, I'm coming with this supercharge, this fuel, and that's gonna pay off majorly. So really, really rooting myself in that. Yeah, it just feels generates a lot of confidence and also love and commitment, and just like love for the work, and knowing that it really works, and yeah, creates,
you like worked it first.
yeah.
I think it's
And
so easy to overlook that part, but it's so true about you of like, you just always show up and do it.
thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
So
Well, and it's so funny too, like even like just recently I brought on a friend to do some copywriting, and he's like the Wild Darlings team, we've brought him on and hired him at certain points to help us write grants and things. And like, he's one of my best friends in the world. And he's always just been so supportive and given us like friends and family discount and all that. And he writes for a living, more in like the science field, but still is a great writer. But he's done a great job. Like, he's just like, so like sharp and smart and really gets the project. And so I brought him on to do some copywriting for my coaching business. And he's made a whole map, and he just sent it to me like yesterday. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, I
took everything and like put it together.
And I was like, whoa, it actually like, I don't know, it blows my mind a little bit that like, I don't have to do that, or like spread myself thin to do all the things. And it's been a slow, which I think is good, but like, yeah, slow, like open, like reprogramming and opening to like understand that. Like, it's kind of incredible how easily will make things harder for ourselves, or just like, and just be in some upset around procrastination or how hard something feels or whatever. So yeah, and I think, because this had come up on I don't know if this is even relevant, so maybe you should just ask me another question. But it might.
I'll like guide us back if I need to.
Well, someone said, someone might get something out of this. Someone said, or no, I had asked on one of the group calls or office hours about like, I was like, will this ever get easier? Like, will running this business get easier? And on the one hand, I get that, you climb one mountain and then there's another mountain. So It's just like, be present, enjoy the shit out of all of it. And though, pieces do get to be easier. Like, and I think even for me, like, I've had a VA for the past, I guess, 13 months. And this has been like a life-changing experience. I swear to God, it's been life-changing.
Yeah, to let yourself be supported, have someone else holding, like, they also just like momentum wise are like, you're like, oh, another mountain. They're like, don't worry, we're already halfway up and we got your gear and we're good to go and we know the route. And you're like, oh my God.
It's like so amazing. Yeah. Everything, all of my stuff is so much more organized.
Yeah.
Which I love. Like, organization has like skyrocketed to another level. And I just have more support, following up with clients, getting them what they need on a logistics level, on a payment and systems level. And that does make things easier. And I remember the hiring process, I was like, am I ready for this? I don't know. Is this,
what do I even give her? Them? Like, what is this?
I was like, I
Oh, your internet is glitching out on us.
oh, sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah, I was just saying, I didn't know what to expect in working with her because I had never worked with a virtual assistant before. So I really had to flex the trust muscle and do mindset work around what my her, like, how do I want this to go? Like, yeah. So
it's also made you really show up for your business, knowing that someone else is in there. Cause there's times where it's like you're managing multiple projects at all times. And it's easy for like the one that only relies on you and you're kind of only accountable to yourself to like fall to the bottom. And I think it's been so good watching you have that team in there is like, you're like, nope, I have to stay on top of this thing. Like someone else is there, there's eyes on the business in a different way. And so I just think that's such a valuable thing too, that you've created in your business. So
it's so good. It's so good.
Okay. So you started a business, got paying clients, did your first launch. We didn't even talk about like post on social. You sold a bunch of workshops, you hired a team. Anything else that just stands out of something that either like things you've done or how you've approached it that you think would be helpful for anyone just also considering where they're at, debating joining the mastermind?
Yeah, what other things stand out? I think that something that I've noticed is like I almost every time I feel like there's been these like bigger growth spurts in my business, I've come to from a place of like really, really wanting it, but almost like maybe a bit of forcing energy, and then come back down to this like total peace.
Mm-hmm.
But I know this will work out. Like even at one point when I was doing some free turn on events, which I'll do every now and then, promotional event. And I remember being so nervous that like no one would show up or like one person would show up, right?
Yeah.
And of course, one person.
Of course.
And like, but it was so interesting because I was so nervous. And then I just did the energetic and spiritual and emotional work to become completely okay with it.
Yep.
And got coaching from you around like, yeah, one person's there, like serve the shit out of that one person and have it be, the best day of their week, have it be so transformational for them and so nourishing. And I actually got to a place of being okay with that, like more than okay, like just like, yeah, just like really with the perfection of that possibility.
Yeah.
And that particular workshop, one person came and she had her video off and she was muted, so I couldn't even hear her. And I was like, hello. What's that? Like what? And response. And I'm a dedicated meditator. So I was like, I didn't want to leave the call.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just gonna meditate until she turns her video on and says hello or whatever she does. So it was an hour-long event and I sat there and I meditated. And it was like 30 or 40 minutes that I was sitting there in silent meditation. And then I hear her speaking. So I opened my eyes and she was like on the bus or at work. It just worked out that like she couldn't participate, but like wanted to, but finally could come on video. And it basically, we just had it be a discovery call about she does, the work that I do, how my coaching could support her, what support she needs and make a difference for her. And it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. And that it's such a just beautiful, like, reminder.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think that's just like one example of so many though, where like you really work the mindset to be like, how is this for me? Like, if this thing is right in front of me, how am I going to make it be for me instead of like, oh God, why is this happening? Why is this happening? And it's allowed you to move through and hold so many increasingly big pieces. So I just think that's like a huge win and celebration. And not that you weren't doing a lot before, but it's a lot to add a new business. And then everything you're doing in a new business is a new thing. And to be able to like, okay, cool. If I did it in that thing and moved from fear to non-attachment and like deep service, how can I do it again and again? And I've really seen that in you is like, we can now get you from like idea to execution so fast because you know how to move through all those pieces.
yes, it did take me much longer.
It takes everyone a long time. It's just how it is. Okay. Any other like last little wisdom gems for someone who's maybe like, oh God.
I mean, the piece, the piece that you will often preach about hiring before you're ready or before you feel ready.
Yeah.
Like that just stands out so much. Yeah. As that's just, it's such a tiny piece, but it's supported me a whole lot, even in bringing my friend on to do this copywriting. Like there's questions of like, am I ready? But like, I know that I can decide that and decide that it's gonna really have things blossom in a great way.
Yeah. Or if you like find a gap, you know, you can stomach just holding that and being like, okay, maybe I wasn't here and what do I need? But like, you're thinking like a business owner. So good. I'm just always in awe of all you do. So wildly impressed. So honored to hold you and to know the ripple you're making with your coaching business on top of everything else you're doing. But I'm just so glad like I get to, and we get to all keep supporting you and being on the ride and just appreciative that you shared all of it. And this queen doesn't like to brag very much. But the fact that you did share some of these big wins with us and just knowing that people are going to see this and be inspired I'm just so grateful.
Yay.
So good. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.